My beloved child, come into the quiet with me. Do not rush past this. Do not treat this as another sound among many sounds. Let the noise around you settle. Let the thoughts that have been chasing one another slow down. I am speaking to the place in you that the world cannot touch. I am speaking to the part of your heart that still knows when something is true before your mind can explain it. Receive this in the stillness of your heart. There are things I cannot show you while you are running, not because my voice is weak, but because hurry makes your soul crowded. There are truths that need silence around them, the way a seed needs soil before it can rise. If you fill every hour with noise, every pause with distraction, every ache with something to numb it, you may miss the gentle way I am drawing near. My beloved child, I do not always come to you with thunder. I do not always shake the room or split the sky. I come like morning light touching the edge of a closed curtain. Softly, patiently, faithfully. If you are not watchful, you may call it a passing feeling. You may say it was only emotion, only memory, only imagination. But I tell you, there are moments when that quiet stirring is my mercy reaching for your attention. You have felt it before. A pause inside you when everything on the outside looked reasonable. A small uneasiness when the path seemed easy. A gentle pull away from something you wanted to enter. A sudden heaviness when your lips were about to say yes. A strange peace when you chose to wait. Do not despise these small signals. I have placed within you a conscience that can still be touched by my spirit. I have given you an inward lamp not to frighten you but to guide you. My sheep hear my voice, and my voice does not lead them into destruction. My voice leads them back toward life. My beloved child, sometimes you have ignored these promptings because they seem too quiet to matter. You trusted the loud invitation, the open door, the approval of others, the comfort of what felt familiar. And yet after a while you felt your peace becoming thin. You felt your joy becoming quieter. You felt the path taking you farther from me, even though nothing looked dangerous at first. That is why I am calling you into stillness now. Stillness is not empty. Stillness is where you begin to hear again. Stillness is where your soul stops pretending it is fine. Stillness is where the heart becomes honest enough to say, Father, something in me knows you are speaking. Be still and know that I am God. This is not only a command to stop moving, it is an invitation to stop striving. It is a call to let my presence become louder than fear, louder than pressure, louder than the voice that says you must understand everything before you listen. My beloved child, I see how tired you are from carrying so many voices. Some voices tell you to hurry. Some tell you to prove yourself. Some tell you that you are behind. Some tell you that if you do not act now, you will lose everything. But my voice is different. My voice does not panic. My voice does not manipulate. My voice does not shame you into obedience. My voice carries truth, and even when it corrects you, it brings life with it. Think of Elijah when he stood in the place of loneliness and exhaustion. There was wind, there was shaking, there was fire, but I made myself known in a gentle whisper, not because I lacked power, but because I wanted him to learn that my nearness is not measured by volume. I can speak softly and still change the direction of a life. So listen, my beloved child. Do not only listen with your ears, listen with the part of you that becomes quiet when truth draws near. Listen beneath the fear. Listen beneath the excuses. Listen beneath the plans you have made, without asking me to guide them. There is a place within you where my light has already been waiting. You may wonder why this message found you today. You may think it is simply another video, another passing moment, another voice online, but I tell you, I know how to reach my children. I know how to place a word in front of them at the hour when their heart is most able to hear. Nothing about your life is hidden from me. Not the questions you have not spoken, not the weariness you have disguised, not the decisions you keep delaying, not the ache you keep explaining away. I see all of it, and I am not drawing near to condemn you. I am drawing near to awaken you. There is a difference, my beloved child. Condemnation pushes you into hiding. Awakening calls you into light. Condemnation tells you there is no way back. Awakening says, turn your face toward me, and I will show you the next step. Condemnation makes you afraid of truth. Awakening helps you see that truth is the beginning of freedom. So let your heart become still enough to receive. Do not argue with the quiet conviction that is rising. Do not bury it beneath distraction. Do not promise yourself that you will listen later when life becomes easier, when your mind is clearer, when the timing feels perfect. This moment matters because I am speaking in it. My beloved child, I am not asking you to hurting my beloved child. I am asking you to pause long enough to notice my hand. I am not asking you to run ahead. I am asking you to turn toward the light already touching your spirit. One honest pause can keep you from many painful steps. One surrendered moment can open a door your striving could never force open. Receive this gently. I am near. I am patient. I am not finished with you. The stirring in your heart is not nothing. The uneasiness you have felt is not always weakness. The longing you cannot explain may be my call beneath the surface of your ordinary day. Stay in the stillness a little longer, because in the next part I will show you why my gentle warnings are signs of love, and why the voice that pauses you may be the very hand that protects you. My beloved child, now that your heart has become a little quieter, I want you to understand the stirring you have felt. The pause inside you was not meant to confuse you. The uneasiness that touched your spirit was not sent to shame you. The quiet resistance you sensed when you were about to move forward was not my rejection. My gentle warnings are signs of love. I do not warn you because I am against you. I warn you because I see what you cannot yet see. I see the road beyond the first turn. I see the weight hidden inside the invitation. I see the ending of a choice that still looks harmless at the beginning. You often judge a path by how it appears in the moment, but I judge it by where it is carrying you. My beloved child, a loving father does not stay silent when his child is walking near danger. He does not scream in hatred. He does not push in cruelty. He calls. He reaches. He places a hand on the shoulder. He says, "Stop for a moment. Look again. Listen before you step." This is how I have dealt with you many times. You felt a check in your heart before a conversation. You felt your peace withdraw from a decision everyone else applauded. You felt heaviness after saying yes to something your soul did not agree with. You felt a quiet no beneath your loud desire. These were not useless feelings. They were my mercy touching your conscience. I know you have sometimes called these warnings fear. Fear drives you into panic. My warning draws you into prayer. Fear makes you imagine destruction without hope. My warning gives you a sober pause and invites you back into my light. Fear torments. My spirit guides. My beloved child, do not ignore the difference. When I warn, I do not crush your heart. I create space for you to choose life. When I correct, I do not remove your worth. I protect what I placed within you. When I close a door, I am not mocking your desire. I may be saving you from a room that would slowly darken your soul. Scripture says that the Lord directs the steps of those who trust Him. That means I am not only present when the road is beautiful, I am also present when the road must be redirected. I am present in the open door, and I am present in the holy restraint that keeps you from the wrong one. Think of Joseph, the earthly guardian of my son. When danger came near the child, he was warned in a dream to rise, take the child and his mother, and leave for Egypt. The warning came in the night before the full threat could be seen. Joseph could have dismissed it as imagination. He could have reasoned it away. He could have waited for clearer evidence. But he listened, and that obedience became protection. My beloved child, many times I warn before danger becomes visible. Not because I want to control your every breath, but because I know the things forming in the unseen. I know the conversation that will become a snare. I know the habit that becomes a chain. I know the relationship that appears warm, but quietly pulls you from truth. I know the opportunity that shines on the surface, but asks for the peace of your soul as payment. So when I stir, you pause. When your peace grows thin, pause. When the path feels easy, but your spirit feels guarded, pause. When you sense a holy discomfort, do not rush to silence it. Bring it to me. Say, Father, is this your warning or my fear? Is this wisdom or old pain? Is this a door you are closing or a wound I need you to heal? I will not despise that prayer. I delight in a child who asks me for discernment. My beloved child, my warnings are not always dramatic. Sometimes they come through a sentence that stays with you, sometimes through a scripture that suddenly feels alive, sometimes through a trusted voice speaking with gentleness, sometimes through a delay that irritates you, yet later reveals protection, sometimes through the loss of peace you cannot explain. Do not demand that every warning arrive with thunder before you honor it. A whisper can save a life if the heart is willing to hear. I have guarded you in ways you still do not know. There were paths you wanted that would have drained you. There were doors you cried over that would have trapped you. There were relationships you mourned that would have slowly taught you to live beneath your calling. There were moments when the thing you called disappointment was actually my hand turning you away from hidden harm. One day you will understand more. For now, trust my heart. My beloved child, I do not want you to live suspicious of everything. I do not want you afraid of every choice, every person, every opportunity. That is not discernment, that is bondage. True discernment carries peace, even when it says no. It is clear, steady, humble, and submitted to my voice. I want you awake, not anxious. I want you sensitive, not fearful. I want you guided, not controlled by panic. This is why stillness matters. If your life is filled with noise, you may confuse my warning with your worry, or confuse your desire with my leading. But when you sit with me, your inner hearing becomes clearer. You begin to know the tone of my voice. You begin to recognize that my correction has mercy inside it. You begin to feel the difference between pressure and guidance. My beloved child, if you have ignored my warnings before, do not drown yourself in regret. Come back. I am not speaking now to make you stare at the past. I am speaking so you can walk differently. Even when you have taken wrong turns, my mercy still knows how to reach you. Even when you have delayed too long, my love calls your name. Return to awareness. Return to prayer. Return to the light beneath your feet. The warning you feel today may be saving you from the sorrow you would have understood tomorrow. The pause you sense today may be my hand keeping you from a door that would cost more than it promised. The discomfort in your spirit may be the alarm of love, not the voice of rejection. So listen. Do not harden your heart. Do not rush past the quiet no. Do not trade my peace for a path that flatters your impatience. I am not trying to take life from you. I am trying to lead you into life that will not destroy you from within. And as you learn to honor my gentle warnings, you must also learn something important. Delay can disguise itself as safety. Waiting can become avoidance. Later can become a doorway to regret. Stay close, my beloved child, because in the next part, I will show you why you must not mistake delay for safety. My beloved child, now that you know, my gentle warnings are signs of love. I want to show you another danger. Not every danger arrives with noise. Not every loss announces itself before it happens. Some serious turns in a life begin with a quiet sentence inside the mind. Later, not now. There is still time. Do not mistake delay for safety today. Delay can feel peaceful because nothing appears to be falling apart yet. The door is still open. The habit still seems manageable. The relationship still seems harmless. So you tell yourself there is no urgency, no need to respond, no need to change today. But my beloved child, delay is not always rest. Sometimes delay is disobedience dressed in comfortable clothing. Sometimes delay is fear pretending to be wisdom. Sometimes delay is avoidance wearing the mask of patience. True waiting listens for my timing. False delay ignores my voice while calling itself careful. When I ask you to wait, peace remains beneath the waiting. Even if you do not understand everything, there is a quiet steadiness in your spirit. But when delay comes from fear, your soul grows heavier. You postpone, but you do not rest. You avoid, but you do not feel free. You say tomorrow, but tomorrow becomes another place to hide. My beloved child, this is how important doors can begin to close. Not because I am cruel, but because some moments are meant to be entered when grace is calling. If you keep walking past the same invitation, your heart can slowly grow less sensitive. Your hearing can become less awake. Scripture says today, if you hear his voice, do not harden your heart. It says today. Not someday when every fear is gone. Not someday when life becomes simple. Not someday when there is nothing left to risk. Today is where obedience begins. Today is where your heart is still soft enough to turn. I am not telling you this to frighten you. I am telling you because I love you too much to let delay steal what awareness could protect. Think of the wise and foolish virgins. All of them waited. All of them had lamps. All of them expected the bridegroom, but not all of them carried oil. The difference was not seen at first. On the surface, they looked similar, but when the moment arrived, preparation was revealed. The wise were ready. The foolish discovered too late that intention without preparation cannot replace obedience. My beloved child, I do not tell you this story to make you afraid of missing me. I tell it to awaken you to the value of readiness. A lamp without oil can look acceptable for a while. A life without surrender can look stable for a while. A heart that keeps postponing can still speak spiritual words for a while. But when the appointed moment comes, what has been hidden becomes clear. So ask yourself before me, where have you been saying later when I have been saying now? Where have you been calling it patience when it is really fear? Where have you been waiting for a perfect sign after I have already given you enough light for the next step? My beloved child, I am not asking for rushed choices. I am not leading you into pressure. I am not pleased when my children move from panic. But there is a difference between holy timing and endless postponement. Holy timing remains connected to me. Endless postponement slowly separates you from courage. You know this in your heart. There is a prayer you have delayed, a conversation you have avoided, a habit you have excused, a forgiveness you have postponed, a surrender you have pushed away, a step of obedience you have kept placing on the shelf, saying, when I feel stronger, when I understand more, when circumstances improve. My beloved child, I am with you now. You do not need perfect strength to take a faithful step. You need willingness. You do not need the whole road opened before you. You need enough trust to walk toward the light already given. Delay often promises comfort, but it collects interest in the soul. Every ignored prompting makes the next response feel harder. Every postponed surrender makes the heart more accustomed to distance. Every avoided truth allows confusion to settle like dust over the mirror of your spirit. This is why I call you early. This is why I stir you gently before consequences shout. A gardener does not wait until weeds cover the whole field before he begins pulling them. A shepherd does not wait until the sheep is beyond the cliff before calling it back. A father does not wait until the flame becomes a house fire before warning his child. Love speaks while there is still time to turn, and there is still time, my beloved child. But do not use that mercy as an excuse to sleep. Use it as a reason to wake. If your heart is stirred today, answer me today. If your conscience is touched today, bring it to me today. If you know what needs to change, begin with one honest step today. Do not despise small beginnings. Obedience often begins as a quiet yes, a message sent, a habit interrupted, a prayer whispered, a door closed, a truth admitted, a phone set down, a boundary honored, a schedule cleared so you can sit with me. These things may seem small, but small obedience keeps the heart alive. My beloved child, I am waiting for you, but my waiting is not passive. I am knocking. I am reminding. I am placing light along your path. I am giving you moments like this so your heart can turn before regret becomes your teacher. You may ask, Father, what if I have already delayed too long? Come to me. That is the answer. Do not let yesterday's delay become today's excuse. Do not let regret become another chain. I am able to restore what delay has damaged, but restoration begins when you stop pretending there is no need to respond. Turn toward me now, not with panic, not with shame, not with frantic promises you cannot sustain. Turn with honesty. Say, Father, I hear you. I have delayed. I have avoided. I have called fear wisdom, but I am here now. Lead me into the next faithful step. I will meet you there. My beloved child, delay loses power when you choose one step of obedience in my presence. The heart begins to soften. The path may not unfold all at once, but direction returns. So do not mistake delay for safety. Do not let later become the room where your calling goes to sleep. Do not let comfort become the blanket that keeps your spirit from rising. I am calling you today because I love you today. I am waking you today because this moment carries mercy. And as you begin to answer, you will hear me more clearly. You will realize I have been standing at the door of your heart, not forcing my way in, but knocking with patient love, waiting for you to open. My beloved child, now that you have heard my warning about delay, I want you to understand what I have been doing while you waited. I have not been standing far away with disappointment in my eyes. I have not been watching you from a distance, waiting for one mistake so I could turn from you. I have been near. I am knocking at the door of your heart, not with force, not with anger, not with the violence of accusation. I knock with patience because love does not break down the door it desires to enter. Love calls, love waits, love speaks again. Love remains close enough for you to hear, but gentle enough for you to choose. My beloved child, there is a door within you that only you can open. I can send light to the threshold. I can let truth stir beneath your thoughts. I can let a message, a memory, a prayer, or a quiet ache bring you back to awareness. But I will not treat your heart as a room to be conquered. I created it to become a dwelling place of love. Scripture says that I stand at the door and knock. If anyone hears my voice and opens the door, I will come in and share fellowship. Notice this, my beloved child. I knock, I speak, I wait for the heart to respond. I do not come to terrify the one inside. I come to restore communion. You may ask, why would I knock when I already know what is behind the door? Because I honor the turning of your heart. Because relationship is not forced open. Because surrender becomes holy when it is freely given. There are rooms in you where you have kept me waiting, not because you hated me, but because you were afraid of what my light might reveal. There are rooms where disappointment has been sitting quietly, rooms where old shame has stacked itself like unopened letters, rooms where anger has been kept because it felt safer than grief, rooms where dreams were placed away after hope became painful. My beloved child, I am knocking there too. Not to expose you before others, not to humiliate you, not to demand that you explain everything perfectly. I knock because I want to enter the very places you thought were too complicated for my mercy. You have sometimes opened the public rooms of your life to me. The prayers people can hear, the words that sound faithful, the parts that look orderly. But there are private rooms where you still whisper, Father, not this yet, not this memory, not this wound, not this fear, not this desire, not this habit, and still I knock. My patience is not weakness, it is mercy. My waiting is not absence, it is love refusing to leave the threshold of your heart. I know that some doors open slowly. I know that wounded children often listen from behind the door before they trust the voice outside. I know you may need to hear again and again that I am safe. So hear me again, I am safe. My beloved child, when you open to me, I do not enter like a storm tearing apart your life. I enter like a physician, coming with light oil and clean hands. I know how to touch what hurts without deepening the wound. I know how to remove what poisons you without destroying what is tender. I know how to bring order without crushing your spirit. Think of the travelers on the road to Emmaus. They walked with heavy hearts, unable to understand what had happened. My son drew near and walked with them. He did not force recognition upon them at once. He listened. He opened the scriptures. He warmed their hearts along the road. And when they reached the village, they invited him to stay. When the door was opened, their eyes were opened too. My beloved child, this is often how I work. I walk beside you before you recognize me fully. I speak along the road before you understand. I let your heart burn gently before your eyes can see clearly. Then I wait for the invitation. Stay with me, Lord. Come in. Do not pass by. That prayer opens the door. It does not need to be long. It does not need to be impressive. It can be as simple as, Father, I am ready to let you into this place. Or, Father, I am not fully ready, but I want you here. Even that honest opening is precious to me. Do not believe the lie that you must clean the house before I enter. If you could heal every room without me, you would not need me to come in. Let me enter while the dust is still there. Let me sit with you in the unfinished place. Let me touch the table where regret has been lying. Let me open the window where fear has made the air heavy. My beloved child, I am not knocking to take life from you. I am knocking because life has been waiting on the other side of your surrender. There is peace you have not yet received because the door has remained closed. There is freedom you have not yet tasted because you have guarded the chain like it was part of you. There is comfort you have not yet known because you have tried to manage pain alone. Open to me. Not everything at once if your heart trembles. Open the next room. Open the next truth. Open the next hidden place. I will meet you there with tenderness. Some doors are opened through confession, some through forgiveness, some through one surrendered decision, some through asking for help, some through finally admitting that what has been familiar has not been giving life. Do not despise the small opening. A crack in the door is enough for light to begin entering. My beloved child, if you have kept me waiting, do not let shame make you keep waiting longer. I am not angry in the way fear imagines. I am calling, I am near, I am patient, but I am also truthful. A door left closed to my light becomes a room where darkness grows comfortable. What remains unopened often grows heavier, not because I stopped loving you, but because hidden pain gathers dust while my mercy waits with gentle healing. So pause now, listen for the knock. It may sound like conviction, it may sound like longing, it may sound like weariness, finally telling the truth. It may sound like a sentence rising from deep within you, I cannot keep living closed. That is not despair. That is awakening. Open, my beloved child. Let me come in. Let my love sit at the table of your heart. Let my peace begin where fear has ruled. And as my light enters, you will start to see what has been quietly draining you, not so you can be condemned, but so you can finally be healed. My beloved child, now that you have opened the door of your heart, let my light enter the rooms that have been dim for too long. Do not be afraid of what the light reveals. I do not shine truth into your life to embarrass you. I shine truth because hidden things continue to drain you when they remain unnamed. Light reveals what has been quietly draining you. Some things in your life have not looked dangerous. They have looked ordinary. They have looked small. They have looked like habits, routines, reactions, comforts, and private ways of coping. You told yourself they were harmless because they did not destroy everything at once. But my beloved child, not every loss comes like a sudden collapse. Some losses come like a slow leak in a vessel, one drop at a time, until the soul wonders why it feels empty. You may have noticed it. You wake with a heaviness you cannot explain. You finish the day tired, though nothing major happened. You laugh, but something inside remains dry. You pray, but your mind feels scattered. You move through responsibilities, but your inner fire feels low. I see this, my beloved child. I see not only what you do, but what each thing is doing to you. I see the repeated thoughts that make hope smaller. I see the quiet resentment you have carried so long that it feels normal. I see the endless distractions that keep you from sitting with me. I see the habit of saying yes when your spirit is begging for wisdom. I see the way you keep revisiting old pain as if touching the wound will finally explain it. I do not reveal these things to accuse you. I reveal them to free you. When a physician shows a wound, it is not to shame the patient. It is to begin the healing. When a lamp is brought into a dusty room, the dust becomes visible not because the lamp created it, but because the lamp is honest. In the same way, my light does not create your burden. My light helps you see what has been there, quietly shaping your days. Scripture says that everything exposed by the light becomes visible. My beloved child, visibility is mercy. What stays hidden often keeps power. What comes into my light can begin to lose its hold. This is why you must not run when conviction rises. Conviction is not rejection. Conviction is my hand pointing gently toward the place where life has been leaking out. There may be a pattern of thought that drains you, a sentence you repeat inside without noticing. I am behind. I am forgotten. I am not enough. Nothing will change. These words may feel like honest observations, but if they keep pulling you away from faith, they are not harmless. They are small doors through which discouragement keeps entering. There may be a habit of escape that drains you, reaching for noise whenever silence becomes uncomfortable, filling the empty spaces with screens, food shopping, scrolling, or endless busyness. Not because the thing itself is always evil, but because your heart uses it to avoid the deeper hunger only I can meet. There may be a relationship that drains you, not always through obvious harm, but through slow pressure. You become less honest, less prayerful, less peaceful, less alive. You explain it away because the person is familiar, or because leaving the pattern feels painful. But my beloved child, familiarity is not the same as fruitfulness. There may be a hidden agreement with bitterness. You tell yourself you have moved on, yet your spirit keeps returning to the offense. Bitterness does not always scream. Sometimes it sits quietly in the corner of the heart and colors everything you see. I do not ask you to deny what hurt you. I ask you to let me remove the poison that keeps the hurt ruling you. Think of Martha when she welcomed my son into her home. She was busy with many tasks, troubled and distracted, while Mary sat near his feet. My son did not despise Martha. He did not shame her service, but he revealed the thing beneath the service. She was anxious and troubled about many things, and she needed to return to the one thing that gave life. My beloved child, sometimes what drains you is not open rebellion. Sometimes it is a good thing carried without my peace, service without stillness, responsibility without surrender, planning without prayer, care for others without receiving care from me. Even good things can become heavy when they are carried away from my presence. Let my light show you what is nourishing you and what is draining you. Do not defend everything simply because it has been part of your life for a long time. Do not call something normal simply because you have grown used to its weight. Do not call something peace simply because it no longer surprises you. There is a difference between peace and numbness. Peace has life in it. Numbness only has absence. Peace draws you closer to me. Numbness teaches you not to feel. Peace strengthens love. Numbness lowers your expectations until you stop hoping for healing. My beloved child, I am not asking you to fix everything in one moment. I am asking you to see with me. Sit with me and say, Father, show me what is draining me. Show me what I keep excusing. Show me what I keep feeding that weakens my spirit. Show me where my time, attention, affection, and energy are flowing. I will answer gently. I may show you one thought to interrupt, one habit to surrender, one boundary to honor, one conversation to stop rehearsing, one rhythm to change, one place where your soul needs rest. Do not despise one thing. One opened window can change the air in a whole room. One surrendered pattern can begin a wider freedom. One honest prayer can become the first step out of exhaustion. My beloved child, my light is not cruel. It is clean. It does not come to burn down the house of your life. It comes to remove what has been poisoning the air. It comes to restore breath. It comes to make your heart sensitive again, alive again, able to hear again. I will not rush you, but I will not leave you asleep. Because love that sees the leak in your soul will not pretend the vessel is full when it is empty. So let me reveal what has been quietly draining you. Let me show you without panic. Let me name it without shame. Let me separate your true self from the patterns that have attached themselves to your weariness. You are not the heaviness. You are not the habit. You are not the wound. You are my beloved child, and I am bringing you back into life. And as you begin to see clearly, I will teach you why these small things matter. Small choices are never truly small when they are repeated every day. Stay close, and I will show you how small choices are shaping your soul. My beloved child, now that my light has revealed what has been quietly draining you, I want you to see why small things matter. Do not treat them as nothing. Do not say they are too little to shape your life. The soul is formed slowly, often by choices so quiet you do not notice them at first. Small choices are shaping your soul. A life does not usually turn away from me in one great movement. More often it drifts by inches. One ignored prompting, one delayed prayer, one bitter thought rehearsed again, one compromise explained away, 1 hour given to distraction when your heart was asking for stillness, one word spoken from irritation instead of love, one moment when you knew what was right but chose what was easier. These things may seem small when they stand alone, but repeated small choices become paths, and paths become direction, and direction becomes the life you are walking. My beloved child, I do not say this to make you afraid of every mistake. I know your weakness. I know your tiredness. I know the difference between a stumble and a settled pattern, but I want you awake enough to see that nothing repeated in the heart remains neutral forever. What you practice begins to train you. What you feed begins to grow. What you excuse begins to ask for more room. Scripture says that a person will reap what they sow. This is not only about great decisions, it is also about hidden seeds. A seed may be small enough to fit in your hand, yet given time, soil, and repetition, it becomes something large enough to give shade or cast shadow. The seed of gratitude grows one kind of tree. The seed of resentment grows another. The seed of obedience grows life. The seed of delay grows confusion. So ask yourself gently before me, what am I sowing each day? What am I allowing to take root? What am I watering with my attention? My beloved child, attention is never empty. Wherever your attention remains, your heart slowly follows. If your eyes return to fear, fear becomes familiar. If your mind returns to offense, offense becomes a home inside you. If your time disappears into noise, silence begins to feel uncomfortable. If your hands choose ease over obedience, courage becomes harder to recognize. But the reverse is also true. A small prayer repeated with sincerity begins to open the heart. A small act of honesty begins to weaken deception. A small no to temptation begins to strengthen freedom. A small yes to my voice begins to awaken courage. A small moment of gratitude begins to clear the air of the soul. Do you see, my beloved child? The enemy wants you to believe small obedience does not matter while also using small compromise to wear you down. But I see every hidden choice. I see the quiet yes no one applauded. I see the moment you closed the screen and chose prayer. I see the apology you gave when pride wanted silence. I see the boundary you honored though loneliness pulled at you. I see the habit you interrupted before it grew stronger. None of it is wasted. Think of Daniel in a foreign land. Before great tests came, he made a quiet decision in his heart not to defile himself. That choice did not look dramatic to the world. It was not a public victory at first. It was a private alignment. Yet that private alignment trained his soul for public faithfulness. My beloved child, the lion's den did not create Daniel's faith. The hidden choices before it strengthened what was already being formed. This is how I shape you too. Not only in the large moments, not only when everyone is watching, not only when life feels intense. I shape you in mornings, in pauses, in words, in appetites, in reactions, in habits, in what you return to when no one sees. My beloved child, do not despise the ordinary. Much of holy transformation happens there. The way you speak when you are tired, the way you handle disappointment, the way you respond when you are interrupted, the way you steward your body, the way you spend your first quiet minutes, the way you forgive what your flesh wants to keep alive, the way you choose truth when excuses feel easier. These are not meaningless details. They are the small hinges on which larger doors turn. I am not asking you to build your soul by your own strength. I am asking you to walk with me. Invite me into the moment before you answer sharply. Invite me into the moment before you choose what numbs you. Invite me into the moment before you postpone what I have called you to do. Invite me into the moment when your heart begins to harden. Grace does not ignore your choices. Grace empowers you to choose life. My beloved child, if you have repeated choices that weakened you, do not collapse into shame. Shame only pushes you deeper into hiding. Come into truth. Say, Father, I have been training my soul in the wrong direction. I have been feeding what drains me. I have been calling small what is slowly shaping me. Help me begin again. I will help you. I do not require you to repair years in one day. I begin with the next faithful choice. One prayer, one surrender, one honest confession, one act of obedience, one refusal to follow the old path, one return to my presence. A new direction begins with one step, and then another, until the old road no longer feels like home. My beloved child, this is how freedom grows quietly, not only through one dramatic breakthrough, but through daily agreements with my light. You become steady by choosing me when emotions shift. You become wise by pausing before the familiar reaction. You become free by refusing to let yesterday's patterns command today's obedience. The soul is like a garden. It does not become fruitful because you intended fruit. It becomes fruitful because the soil was tended, the weeds were pulled, and the seeds were guarded. Intention matters, but tending matters too. Desire matters, but direction matters too. Love matters, but obedience gives love a place to grow. So let me tend the garden of your soul with you. Let me show you the small weeds before they spread. Let me strengthen the small seeds before they are choked. Let me teach your hands to choose what gives life. My beloved child, the small choices before you today are not beneath my attention. They are places where my grace wants to meet you. Choose the word that heals. Choose the pause that protects. Choose the prayer that reconnects. Choose the truth that frees. Choose the boundary that guards peace. Choose the surrender that makes room for my life. And as these choices begin to form you, you will understand that I am not only calling you away from what drains you, I am calling you into fullness of life where your days are no longer endured, but lived. My beloved child, now that you see how small choices are shaping your soul, I want you to understand the reason I am calling you to wakefulness. I am not only calling you away from what drains you. I am not only asking you to avoid danger, resist delay, or leave behind patterns that dim your spirit. I am calling you into something greater. I am calling you into fullness of life. Do not think of this fullness as a life without struggle. Do not imagine it as a path where nothing hurts, nothing tests you, and nothing requires courage. Fullness of life is deeper than ease. It is the life of a soul that is awake to me, connected to my presence, guided by my truth, and no longer merely surviving from one day to the next. My beloved child, I see the way you have lived through seasons rather than truly lived in them. You have carried responsibilities, answered people, met demands, solved problems, and kept moving. From the outside, your life may have looked full of tasks, full of noise, full of motion. Yet inside, you knew something was missing. A life can be busy and still be empty. A schedule can be crowded and still leave the soul starving. I did not create you for that kind of existence. I did not breathe life into you so you would spend your days numb, hurried, guarded, and half awake. My son said that he came so his sheep may have life and have it abundantly. That abundance is not measured first by possessions, applause, comfort, or control. It is measured by the presence of my life within you. It is peace that remains when circumstances shift. It is courage that rises when fear speaks loudly. It is love that has not become cold. It is hope that has not been buried. My beloved child, fullness of life begins when you stop confusing existence with living. Existing keeps breathing. Living responds to my breath. Existing repeats the old cycle. Living notices my voice. Existing manages pain. Living allows me to heal it. Existing tries to get through the day. Living receives the day as a place where grace can meet you. I want you to live, not merely endure. I want your mornings to become places of receiving. I want your words to carry life. I want your time to become a sacred trust. I want your heart to become more than a place of old wounds. I want it to become a dwelling where my peace can remain. This does not happen through pressure. It happens through returning. Return to me in the small places. Return to me before the day takes hold of you. Return to me when emotions rise. Return to me when temptation offers comfort without healing. Return to me when weariness tells you to live on the surface. My beloved child, the fullness I give is not found in escaping your life, but in allowing my presence to enter it. I can meet you in the kitchen, the car, the quiet room, the workplace, the late hour when no one sees your thoughts. I can turn ordinary moments into holy ground when your heart is turned toward me. Remember the Samaritan woman at the well. She came for water in the heat of the day, carrying a history others may have judged, and a thirst she could not satisfy. My son did not avoid her. He met her there. He spoke of living water, not as a distant idea, but as a gift that could become a spring within her. The place of daily need became the place of awakening. My beloved child, I can meet you at your well too. The place where you come tired, the place where you come thirsty. I am not ashamed to meet you there. I am waiting to give you living water. I have seen your hidden thirst. There are places in you that have been dry for so long that dryness feels normal. You have learned to function without joy. You have learned to pray without expectation. You have learned to give without receiving. You have learned to protect yourself by needing less, hoping less, feeling less. But numbness is not the peace I promised you. I am calling those dry places back to life. Let me awaken desire that is pure. Let me restore joy that does not depend on perfect circumstances. Let me teach you to receive again. Let me show you that fullness is not greed. It is your soul returning to the life it was made to carry. My beloved child, fullness also requires release. You cannot be filled with my life while keeping your heart crowded with everything that destroys you. A cup already filled with muddy water must be emptied before clean water can be poured in. This is why I have been speaking about small choices. This is why I have been revealing what drains you, not to take from you, but to make room in you. Make room for peace, make room for truth, make room for prayer, make room for wisdom, make room for love that is not controlled by fear. Make room for obedience that is not heavy but freeing. I know you may feel unready for a fuller life. You may think, Father, I have lived too long in survival. I do not know how to receive joy without suspicion. I do not know how to trust peace when I am used to tension. I do not know how to hope without fearing disappointment. Bring that to me. Fullness does not begin with you feeling capable. It begins with you opening. One open place is enough for living water to begin flowing. One surrendered habit is enough for light to enter. One honest prayer is enough for the direction of a life to change. My beloved child, I am not asking you to become someone else. I am calling you to become fully alive in me. The person I created is not buried beyond my reach. The gifts, tenderness, courage, discernment, and holy desire I placed within you are not gone. They may be covered by dust, fear, or disappointment, but my hand knows how to uncover what belongs to me. So hear me clearly. I am not calling you into a smaller life. I am calling you out of the narrow places. I am calling you out of spiritual exhaustion. I am calling you out of empty repetition. I am calling you into a life where your soul can breathe, your mind can clear, your heart can soften, and your steps can be guided by my light. Walk toward that life today, not through grand performance, through one faithful return, through one honest yes, through one choice that agrees with life instead of fear. And as you answer this call, I will show you how fullness is protected and strengthened. It is not sustained by impulse. It is formed through discipline, infused with love. Stay close, my beloved child, because I will teach you how discipline with love restores your inner order. My beloved child, now that you know I am calling you into fullness of life, I want to show you how that life is protected. Fullness is not guarded by emotion alone. It is not sustained by excitement, sudden inspiration, or a few strong moments of desire. It is strengthened through discipline, but not the kind that crushes you. Discipline with love restores your inner order. Do not hear the word discipline as punishment. I am not speaking of harsh pressure, cold rules, or fear-driven performance. I am speaking of loving order, the kind of order that helps a tired soul breathe again. The kind of order that places your desires, habits, emotions, time, and thoughts back beneath my light. My beloved child, disorder is exhausting. When your emotions lead every decision, you become tired. When your habits pull you without your agreement, you become divided. When your time is scattered, your spirit becomes restless. When your body is ignored, your mind becomes clouded. When prayer is delayed day after day, your heart begins to feel distant from me, even though I have not moved. This is why I teach you discipline, not to make you less free, but to help you become truly free. A river without banks does not become more alive. It spreads, floods, and loses direction. But a river held within its banks can move with strength and purpose. In the same way, a life without loving discipline may feel free at first, but it often becomes scattered. A life ordered by my wisdom becomes able to carry peace. My beloved child, I gave you a will not to be ruled by every passing feeling, but to choose what leads to life. I gave you a body not to be misused until it cries for attention, but to be honored as a gift. I gave you time not to be poured endlessly into what empties you, but to be stewarded with wisdom. I gave you words not to release every reaction, but to build, heal, and bless. Scripture says that God has not given a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and self-control. Notice this. Self-control is not separated from love, it is joined with it. True self-control is not hatred of yourself. It is love, agreeing with wisdom. It is the heart saying, I will not give my future to the appetite of this moment. I will not let fear drive my tongue. I will not let pain choose my path. I will walk with my Father. My beloved child, many of your struggles have not come from a lack of desire for me. You have wanted to change. You have wanted to pray more deeply. You have wanted to live with peace. You have wanted to stop returning to what drains you. But desire without order becomes frustration. You intend life, yet repeat what weakens you. You want freedom, yet keep feeding the chain. I do not mock you for this. I understand the pull of old patterns. But I am calling you to cooperate with grace. Grace does not mean your choices no longer matter. Grace means you are no longer alone in making them. Grace gives strength where your will has grown tired. Grace helps you pause before reaction. Grace teaches you to begin again without drowning in shame. Think of Nehemiah rebuilding the wall of Jerusalem. The work did not happen by wishing the city were restored. Stones had to be lifted. Broken places had to be named. Gates had to be repaired. Opposition had to be faced. Yet the work was not empty labor. It was restoration. The wall was rebuilt so life inside could be protected again. My beloved child, discipline is like rebuilding the walls around your inner life. Not walls of fear, not walls that keep my love out. Walls of wisdom, boundaries that protect peace, rhythms that protect prayer, rest that protects the body, truth that protects the mind, forgiveness that protects the heart from bitterness. You may need a rhythm of silence before you begin the day. You may need to stop feeding thoughts that accuse you. You may need to close a door to a habit that keeps pulling you backward. You may need to honor sleep, food, movement, and rest as part of stewardship. You may need to speak less when anger rises and pray before answering. These things may feel small, but they restore order. My beloved child, do not try to change everything at once. Disorder did not form in a single moment, and I do not require you to repair every place by morning. Begin with the place I am touching. Begin where conviction is gentle but clear. Begin where peace has been leaking out. Begin with one act of obedience repeated with love. A room becomes clean one faithful movement at a time. A garden becomes fruitful one tended patch at a time. A soul becomes steady one surrendered choice at a time. I will meet you in the repetition. This is important. You often look for me only in the dramatic moment, but I am also present in holy repetition. The prayer you return to, the scripture you open again, the apology you choose again, the boundary you honor again, the quiet no you speak again, the small yes you give again. These repetitions are not empty. They are training your soul to recognize life. My beloved child, discipline without love becomes pride or despair. Pride says, look how strong I am. Despair says, I failed again, so I am hopeless. But discipline with love says, I belong to the Father, and I am learning to live like one who is loved. That is the difference. You are not earning my love through order. You are allowing my love to bring order. When you fall, return quickly. Do not sit in shame. Do not make failure your home. Come back to me and ask Father what needs to be restored. What pattern did I feed? What support do I need? What truth did I forget? I will teach you without crushing you. My beloved child, loving discipline will make you lighter. It will not remove all struggle, but it will reduce the confusion created by divided living. Your yes will become clearer. Your no will become cleaner. Your spirit will become more sensitive. Your peace will become easier to recognize. You will begin to notice what carries life and what quietly pulls you away. So receive this as mercy. I am not placing chains on you. I am removing chains that have disguised themselves as freedom. I am not making your life smaller. I am restoring its order so fullness can remain. Let me order your mornings. Let me order your thoughts. Let me order your desires. Let me order your words. Let me order your hidden habits. I will guide you with steady wisdom. And as order returns, your eyes will become watchful. You will begin to notice the signs before trouble grows larger. Stay close, my beloved child, because next I will teach you to watch the signs before the storm. My beloved child, now that loving discipline has begun to restore order within you, I want to sharpen your spiritual sight. A heart that is no longer scattered can notice what it once ignored. I do not say this so you will live afraid. Fear watches for disaster. Wisdom watches for guidance. Fear expects harm everywhere. Discernment notices my hand, my warnings, my pauses, and my peace. I am not calling you into anxiety. I am calling you into holy awareness. My beloved child, before many storms there are signs. The sky changes color. The wind grows strangely still. The birds move differently. The air feels heavy before rain begins to fall. Those who are awake do not worship the storm, but they respect the signs enough to prepare. So it is in your inner life. Before confusion takes hold, there may be a small loss of peace. Before a habit grows stronger, there may be a repeated excuse. Before bitterness hardens, there may be one sentence you keep rehearsing. Before a wrong door opens widely, there may be a quiet check in your spirit, a narrowing of joy, a sense that something is not clean beneath the surface. Do not dismiss these things. Do not call them nothing. Do not wait until the wind becomes violent before you listen. My beloved child, I often warn gently before consequences speak loudly. I whisper before the crash. I stir your conscience before the chain is heavy. I place uneasiness in the heart before the road becomes costly. This is mercy. This is guidance. This is love going ahead of you. Scripture says to be watchful and sober-minded. That watchfulness is not panic. It is clear sight. It is the steadiness of a child who knows the Father is near and therefore does not need to be blind. I want your eyes open, your heart soft, and your spirit sensitive enough to turn when I call. Remember Noah. The sky did not yet pour rain when he began to build. People around him continued as though everything would remain the same. But he honored my warning before the storm became visible. His obedience looked unusual before it looked wise. My beloved child, there are times when listening to me will look unnecessary to others until time reveals what my love was protecting you from. Do not be ruled by the opinions of those who cannot hear what I am speaking to your heart. If I tell you to prepare, prepare. If I tell you to pause, pause. If I tell you to step away, step away. If I tell you to close a door, do not keep standing there because others do not understand. My beloved child, some storms are avoided by one moment of obedience. Some sorrow is prevented by one honest pause. Some bondage is broken because you refuse to take one more small step toward it. You may not see the full danger, but you can trust the one who sees beyond the bend in the road. Watch your peace. Peace is not always the absence of difficulty. Sometimes I lead you into hard obedience with deep peace. But when something continually produces confusion, heaviness, secrecy, fear, and distance from me, stop and listen. Do not explain away the fruit. The fruit tells you something about the root. Watch your words. When your speech becomes sharp, hopeless, or careless, something beneath the surface needs attention. Words are like smoke rising from a hidden fire. They reveal what is burning within. Bring your tongue to me before it wounds what love was meant to protect. Watch your appetites. When comfort begins to rule you, when you reach again and again for what numbs instead of what heals, pay attention. I do not shame your hunger. I want to lead your hunger back to living water. Watch your weariness. Exhaustion can make the wrong path look easier. When you are tired, you may call compromise relief. Come to me before fatigue becomes a doorway for choices you would not make in clarity. Watch your relationships. If a connection slowly pulls you away from prayer, truth, peace, humility, and obedience, do not ignore the sign because the person feels familiar. Familiar does not always mean safe. Sweet words do not always mean life. I will teach you to love with wisdom, not blindness. My beloved child, I am not asking you to suspect everyone. I am asking you to discern what is forming you. A storm does not always come through enemies. Sometimes it comes through unchecked habits, unhealed wounds, unguarded thoughts, misplaced trust, or a path that looked good because it was easy. This is why you need me daily. You cannot watch rightly without my light. Your fear will exaggerate. Your desire will excuse. Your wounds will misread. But my spirit leads into truth. My spirit does not flatter what is harmful. My spirit does not crush what is tender. My spirit helps you recognize what is life and what is only appearance. So pause with me often. Ask, Father, what am I not seeing? Ask, Father, where is my peace becoming thin? Ask, Father, what have I been calling normal that is actually warning me? Ask, Father, teach me the difference between fear and discernment. I will answer, sometimes through scripture that pierces gently, sometimes through a trusted voice, sometimes through a closed door, sometimes through a delay that frustrates you now but saves you later, sometimes through the simple absence of peace where you expected comfort. My beloved child, if you have ignored signs before, do not sink into regret. I am still here. The purpose of this message is not to chain you to what you missed. It is to awaken you to what I am showing now. Return to watchfulness. Return to humility. Return to the quiet place where my voice can be heard again. The signs are not given to torment you. They are given to protect you. They are not proof that you are weak. They are proof that I am near. A child who hears the Father call from the road is not rejected. That child is loved enough to be warned before danger arrives. So keep your lamp trimmed. Keep your ears open. Keep your heart teachable. When the sky within begins to change, do not pretend everything is the same. Bring it to me. Let me interpret what you sense. Let me guide you before the storm grows. I know you may wish I would show you every reason at once, but trust can begin before explanation arrives. The child who takes my hand in the dark may not see the whole road yet. That child is still safer than the one who runs alone in confidence without listening. And when I hold you back, when I slow your steps, when I close what you wanted opened, remember this truth. My restraining hand is not rejection. It is mercy moving before you can understand. My beloved child, now that you have learned to watch the signs before the storm, I want you to understand what my hand is doing when it holds you back. There are moments when I slow your steps, close a door, interrupt a plan, or remove a false support you were leaning on. In those moments, your heart may ask, Father, why are you keeping this from me? Listen gently. My restraining hand is mercy, not rejection. I know restraint can feel painful when your desire is strong. I know a closed door can feel like abandonment when you have prayed for it to open. I know delay can feel like denial when your soul has waited long. But my beloved child, you do not see the whole road from where you stand. You see the entrance. I see the ending. You see the shine of the opportunity. I see the hidden cost. You see what you want now. I see what would happen to your heart later. I do not restrain you because I delight in withholding. I restrain because I love. A parent who pulls a child back from a busy road may startle the child, but that grasp is love. A surgeon who removes what is harming the body may cause pain, but the purpose is healing. A gardener who prunes a branch may make the vine look smaller for a season, but the pruning prepares it to bear more fruit. In the same way, my restraint may not feel gentle at first, but it carries mercy beneath the surface. My beloved child, do not measure my love only by what I allow. Sometimes my love is seen in what I prevent. Sometimes my goodness is hidden in the door that would not open. Sometimes my protection is wrapped in the answer that disappointed you. Sometimes the thing you called loss was my way of keeping your soul from a burden it was not ready to carry. Scripture says that the Father disciplines the child he loves. This discipline is not rejection. It is sonship. It is proof that I care enough to guide, correct, and protect. I do not leave you to wander into every desire simply because you want it. I do not call every open road holy. I do not bless every path just because it feels exciting. There are blessings that would become burdens if received too early. There are relationships that would awaken wounds more than love. There are opportunities that would feed pride while starving your spirit. There are places that look like increase but would slowly pull you away from me. My beloved child, I know the difference even when you do not. Remember Paul and his companions when they desired to go in one direction, but the Spirit did not permit them. To human understanding, that restraint may have looked like delay or confusion. Yet I was not stopping the mission. I was redirecting it. A closed path became guidance toward the place where I wanted the message to go. What looked like no was part of a larger yes. This is what I want you to learn. Not every no is against your purpose. Some no is protection for your purpose. Not every delay means you are forgotten. Some delay means I am aligning what you cannot arrange. Not every closed door means you failed. Some closed doors mean I am shepherding you away from what would divide your heart. My beloved child, I know you have taken some closed doors personally. You thought, maybe I was not worthy. Maybe I prayed wrong. Maybe I missed my chance. Maybe God is giving this to others, but not to me. Those thoughts have made your heart heavy. They have turned my protection into a wound in your mind. Let me heal that misunderstanding. I have not rejected you. I have been guarding you. There were things you wanted because you could only see their surface. But I saw the pressure behind them. I saw the compromise they would demand. I saw the sleep you would lose, the peace you would trade, the voice of mine you would begin to hear less clearly. So I placed my hand before you not to shame you, but to preserve you. My beloved child, when I restrain you, do not wrestle so hard that you bruise yourself against mercy. Ask me what I am protecting. Ask me what I am preparing. Ask me what I am teaching your heart to desire in a cleaner way. Sometimes I am not saying never. Sometimes I am saying not this way. Sometimes I am saying not with this motive. Sometimes I am saying not while this wound is still leading you. There is mercy in timing. There is mercy in hidden preparation. There is mercy in waiting until your soul can carry the gift without losing its center. Trust me there. I know how to give good gifts. I also know when a gift would become an idol if placed in your hands too soon. I know when a door would become a trap because your identity is not yet rooted deeply enough in me. I know when a relationship would become a hiding place from healing. I know when success would amplify what still needs surrender. My beloved child, my restraint is often my way of loving the future version of you that you cannot yet see. I am not only caring for your immediate desire, I am caring for your destiny, your peace, your humility, your faith, your capacity to love, and the calling I placed within you. So when the plan slows, come close. When the door closes, come close. When the answer is not what you hoped, come close. Do not run from me into bitterness. Do not accuse my heart before you have allowed me to show you mine. Sit with me long enough for disappointment to become trust. Bring me the ache, bring me the confusion, bring me the desire that still hurts to surrender. I can hold all of it. My beloved child, you may one day thank me for what I did not allow. You may one day see the mercy in the interruption, the kindness in the delay, the protection in the closed door. But even before you understand, you can choose to trust the character of the one who holds you. I am not careless with your life. I am not late. I am not against you. My hand that restrains is the same hand that heals, lifts, guides, and blesses. If I hold you back, I am still holding you. If I close a path, I am still leading you. If I say no, my love has not become smaller. I will not turn away from your trembling. I will teach you to rest where you once demanded proof, and to breathe again with me today. Rest in that, my beloved child. And when your heart still struggles to understand, do not hide behind silence. Come to me with one honest sentence. One truthful prayer can open the place where confusion has been locked away. My beloved child, after I have shown you that my restraining hand is mercy and not rejection, I want to make the next step simple. Do not stand outside my presence trying to arrange perfect words. Do not wait until your emotions become clean and orderly. Do not hide behind silence because you do not know how to explain everything. Come to me with one honest sentence. That is enough to begin. You may think prayer must sound strong before I receive it. You may think you need long words, polished thoughts, and a heart free from every contradiction. But I am your Father. I hear the sentence beneath the sentence. I hear the ache behind the breath. I hear the truth that trembles before it becomes language. My beloved child, many of my children stay away because they think honesty will disappoint me. They believe they must come with faith that never shakes gratitude, that never struggles obedience, that never hesitates, and worship that never carries sorrow. But I do not ask you to bring me a performance. I ask you to bring me yourself. Say, Father, I need you. Say, Father, I am tired. Say, Father, I do not understand. Say, Father, I have been avoiding you. Say, Father, I want to return. One honest sentence can open a door that years of hiding kept closed. My beloved child, truth spoken in my presence is powerful, not because the words are impressive, but because hiding loses its grip when the heart turns toward me. Darkness grows strong in secrecy. Shame grows heavy in silence. Confusion becomes tangled when it is never brought into prayer. But when you speak truth to me, even simply light begins to enter. Think of the tax collector in the temple. He did not stand proudly. He did not bring a long speech about his own goodness. He stood at a distance and prayed for mercy. That simple cry reached heaven. I received the honest heart, not the polished appearance. My beloved child, come like that. Come without pretending. Come without decorating the wound. Come without explaining away the thing that is really hurting you. You do not need to protect me from your disappointment. You do not need to hide your questions, so I will think better of you. I already know. I know the thought before you speak it. I know the fear before you name it. I know the place where your faith feels thin, and I am not shocked by it. Bring me the true sentence. Father, I am afraid. Father, I am angry. Father, I miss what you closed. Father, I keep going back to what drains me. Father, I do not know how to change. Father, help me want what gives life. These prayers are not small to me. They are openings. They are windows in a house that has been shut too long. When one window opens, fresh air begins to move. When one true sentence rises, grace begins to work in places you thought were unreachable. My beloved child, do not confuse honesty with disrespect. Honest prayer is not rebellion when it comes with a heart turned toward me. I would rather hear your trembling truth than watch you wear a spiritual mask while your soul sinks beneath it. I am not honored by distance disguised as reverence. I am honored when you trust my love enough to come near as you are. Remember Hannah when her heart was deeply distressed. She poured out her soul before me. Her lips moved with a grief others did not understand. But I understood. I did not reject the prayer that came through tears. I received the heart that emptied itself before me. My beloved child, I still receive such prayers. Pour out your heart before me, not because I lack knowledge, but because pouring out makes room to receive. You have carried many sentences that were never spoken. They have pressed against your chest in the night. They have followed you through ordinary days. You have told others I am fine while your inner life whispered I am weary. You have kept smiling while something inside asked whether healing was still possible. I am listening now. Speak one sentence. Do not make it beautiful. Make it true. Do not make it long. Make it honest. My beloved child, sometimes the first sentence is not the whole prayer. It is the key. Once you say, Father, I am hurt, another door may open. Then you may say, Father, I have blamed you. Then another door may open. Then you may say, Father, I have been afraid to hope. Truth often comes one layer at a time, and I will not rush you. I know how to sit with you in the unfolding. I know how to hold what you are finally ready to name. I know how to answer without crushing the fragile places. The enemy wants you silent because he knows what honesty begins. He wants you to believe that if you admit your weakness, you will lose, my love. But my love was never built on your ability to appear strong. My grace meets you where truth begins. My strength is made perfect in weakness, not in pretending. So come closer. Let the sentence rise. If you have sinned, say, Father, I have sinned, and I need mercy. If you are numb, say, Father, I cannot feel much, but I want to be awakened. If you are confused, say, Father, I cannot see the road, but I am willing to take your hand. If you are ashamed, say, Father, I have been hiding, but I am tired of living behind the door. My beloved child, I will not turn away. I will not laugh at your weakness. I will not use your confession as a weapon against you. I will wash, I will guide, I will forgive, I will restore. I will bring light into the room where you were afraid to let me enter. This is how return begins. Not always with a grand vow, but with one true sentence offered in trust. One sentence can break the first stone in a wall. One sentence can soften a hardened place. One sentence can turn the face of a weary child back toward the Father. Say it tonight. Say it slowly. Say it with the faith you have, not the faith you wish you had. I am near enough to hear the whisper. You may feel nothing at first. Do not be discouraged. A frozen river does not melt because it is scolded. It melts when warmth remains near it long enough. In the same way, the parts of you that have become guarded will soften as you remain with me. Your honest sentence is not the end of healing. It is the place where my tenderness begins to stay. Do not run from that beginning, my beloved child. Let it take root tonight. And when you come with that honest sentence, I will begin touching places that have gone numb inside you. Stay close, my beloved child, because I am awakening the numb places within you. My beloved child, after you have come to me with one honest sentence, let me answer the place behind that sentence. Often the first truth you speak is only the doorway. Behind it are rooms within you that have been quiet for a long time, not because they are peaceful, but because they have grown numb. I am awakening the numb places within you. When feeling begins to return to a place that has been silent, you may think something is going wrong. You may wonder why old memories rise, why tears come more easily, why hopes you buried begin to move again. But my beloved child, numbness is not the same as healing. Numbness is only the heart learning how to survive when pain felt too large to carry. I know why you became numb. You were disappointed more than once. You waited for words that never came. Slowly, you taught yourself to need less, expect less, feel less, and hope less. You called it strength because it helped you keep functioning. You called it maturity because it kept you from falling apart in front of others. But I saw the truth. It was protection built around a wound. My beloved child, I do not condemn you for protecting yourself. I understand why you closed certain doors inside. I understand why you stopped reaching, stopped asking, stopped believing that tenderness could be safe. I understand why you learned to live with a quiet distance between your smile and your soul. But I did not create you to remain half alive. I created you to feel love without fear ruling it. I created you to hope without shame silencing it. I created you to respond to my voice with a heart that is awake. Scripture says that I will give a new heart and put a new spirit within my people. I will remove the heart of stone and give a heart of flesh. This is not only about outward change. It is about the deep mercy of becoming responsive again. A heart of flesh can feel. It can grieve honestly. It can rejoice freely. It can receive love without hiding. It can be guided by me without being controlled by old pain. My beloved child, the places that feel numb are not dead to me. They may feel like winter ground, cold and unmoving, but I know what seeds remain beneath the surface. I know where hope is sleeping. I know where trust was buried. I know where joy stopped singing. I know where love became cautious and quiet. Let me come there, not with force, not with accusation, not with pressure to feel everything at once. I come like warmth returning to frozen soil, slowly, patiently, faithfully. I know that if feeling returns too quickly, you may become afraid. So I awaken you with tenderness. I touch one layer at a time. I bring truth where lies have settled. I bring comfort where fear has built walls. I bring presence where loneliness taught you to expect absence. Remember Lazarus in the tomb. Others thought the story was finished. The stone was closed. The grief was real. The delay had been painful. But my son stood before what seemed final and called life forward. Lazarus came out still wrapped in grave clothes, and my son told them to loosen him and let him go. My beloved child, I am still calling life out of places others thought were finished. I am still speaking to buried hope. I am still commanding what has been bound to come into light. But notice this: awakening may begin before everything that bound you has been removed. Life can return while the grave clothes are still being loosened. So do not be discouraged if you feel alive and tender at the same time. Do not think healing has failed because you still need help. Do not call yourself broken because old wrappings are being removed slowly. I am patient with the process. My beloved child, some numb places awaken through tears. Let them come. Tears are not always weakness. Sometimes they are water for soil that has been dry too long. Some places awaken through truth. A sentence in Scripture may suddenly reach you more deeply than before. Some awaken through forgiveness, not because the past was small, but because bitterness has kept that place frozen. Some awaken through rest, safety, and a quiet moment where you finally stop pretending. You may feel the ache of what you lost. Bring it to me. You may feel the grief you postponed. Bring it to me. You may feel hope rising, and part of you may try to push it down. Bring it to me. My beloved child, I will teach you how to feel without being ruled by feeling. I will teach you how to hope without clinging. I will teach you how to love with wisdom. I will teach you how to grieve without losing your identity in sorrow. I will teach you how to receive joy without fearing that it will be taken from you. This awakening is not meant to make you unstable. It is meant to make you whole. The enemy wants numbness to look like peace. But peace has life in it. Peace breathes. Peace rests in my presence. Numbness merely avoids pain. Peace brings pain to me and learns to rest there. Do you see the difference? I am not leading you into chaos. I am leading you out of emotional sleep. My beloved child, there are gifts beneath the numbness: compassion, discernment, courage, a pure desire to love, a tenderness that suffering tried to bury. When I awaken you, I am not only touching pain, I am also restoring what pain covered. You may begin to care again. You may begin to pray with warmth again. You may begin to notice beauty again. You may begin to laugh without guilt. You may begin to want a future again. My beloved child, do not rush to rebuild old walls when tenderness returns. Stay with me. Let my presence teach your heart that feeling is not the enemy. Feeling becomes dangerous only when it becomes master. Feeling becomes holy when it is brought under my truth, held by my love and guided by my spirit. I am awakening what has been numb, but I am also teaching you order. The goal is not to be controlled by every emotion. The goal is to become fully alive and deeply anchored in me. So let me touch the frozen places tonight. Let me warm what grief chilled. Let me loosen what fear tightened. Let me breathe upon the hopes that went silent. You are not too numb for my love. You are not too guarded for my patience. You are not too tired for renewal. I am here, my beloved child, even here, even now, by my grace. Life is returning. And as these places awaken, I will teach you the next freedom. True freedom is not following every feeling. True freedom is learning to live awake, tender, and led by me, without allowing every wave within you to become your guide. My beloved child, now that I am awakening the numb places within you, I want to teach you how to live with feeling without becoming ruled by feeling. When your heart begins to wake again, emotions may rise strongly. Joy may return, grief may speak, longing may move. Anger may reveal what was never healed. Fear may try to protect what love is touching. Do not be afraid of feeling, but also do not make feeling your master. True freedom is not following every feeling. I created you with the ability to feel. I did not make your heart out of stone. I gave you tears, tenderness, desire, compassion, sorrow, and delight. Emotions can help you notice what is happening inside. They can reveal wounds that need care, hopes that need guidance, and places where your soul is asking for truth. But my beloved child, emotions were never meant to sit on the throne of your life. They are signals. They are not saviors. They are messengers. They are not kings. A feeling can tell you something is present, but it cannot always tell you what is true. Fear may tell you to run when I am asking you to stand. Anger may tell you to speak quickly when wisdom is asking you to wait. Desire may tell you to take what looks comforting when my spirit is calling you to surrender. Sadness may tell you nothing will ever change when my mercy is already moving beneath the surface. This is why you need my truth. My beloved child, the world often calls freedom the right to follow every impulse. It says if you feel it, obey it. If you want it, take it. If you are hurt, react. If you are tired, escape. If you are afraid, close your heart. But I tell you, a life ruled by every inner wave is not freedom. It is exhaustion, wearing the name of liberty. A ship that follows every wind does not become free. It becomes lost. But a ship guided by a steady compass can cross deep waters without surrendering to every current. In the same way, your feelings may rise and fall, but my word remains steady. My voice becomes the compass when your inner weather changes. Scripture says that you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. Notice this, my beloved child. It does not say every feeling will set you free. It says truth. Feelings must be brought into truth so they can be understood, healed, and ordered. I am not asking you to deny what you feel. Denial is not holiness. Pretending is not freedom. I am asking you to bring what you feel into my presence, and let me teach you what it means. Say, Father, I feel afraid, but what is true? Say, Father, I feel angry, but how do you want me to respond? Say, Father, I feel drawn toward this, but is it life? Say, Father, I feel numb again, but where are you inviting me to open? My beloved child, this is mature freedom. Not the absence of emotion, but the surrender of emotion to my wisdom. Think of David when he had the chance to harm Saul in the cave. Saul had wounded him, hunted him, and made his life difficult. David had reason to feel anger, fear, and pressure. Others may have told him the opportunity was from me, but David did not let revenge become his guide. He paused beneath my reverence. He chose restraint. He trusted me with justice. That was freedom. Freedom was not doing whatever pain suggested. Freedom was refusing to let pain make him someone he was not called to be. My beloved child, you will face moments like this. Not always in caves, not always with kings, but in ordinary rooms, conversations, memories, temptations, and decisions. A feeling will rise and ask to lead. It may feel urgent. It may speak loudly. It may say, answer now, leave now, take now, prove now, hide now, numb now. But what is loud is not always holy. What is urgent is not always true. Pause. Bring the feeling to me. Let my peace examine it. Let my word steady it. Let my spirit show you the next faithful response. You are not weak because you feel strongly. You become vulnerable when strong feelings are never surrendered. You are not unspiritual because grief visits you. You become burdened when grief is never brought to me. You are not failing because fear speaks. You begin to lose freedom when fear becomes the voice you obey without question. My beloved child, I want to free you from the tyranny of the immediate emotion, the immediate comfort, the immediate reaction, the immediate escape. So much bondage begins when a soul trades lasting life for brief relief. A harsh word may relieve anger for a moment, but it can wound trust. A hidden habit may soothe emptiness for a night, but it can deepen the ache. A rushed decision may quiet anxiety briefly, but it can create longer confusion. I am teaching you to choose what remains life-giving after the feeling passes. Ask, what fruit will this produce? Will this draw me closer to light? Will this strengthen peace? Will this honor truth? Will this help me become more whole? My beloved child, if the answer is no, then do not call the impulse freedom. Call it what it is, a wave asking for the wheel of your life. Let the wave rise, let it speak, but do not hand it the steering. Come back to me. Breathe with me. Pray before you react. Wait before you decide. Listen before you speak. A feeling can be intense and still not be your command. This is not suppression. This is holy order. When emotions return to their proper place, they become servants of awareness instead of masters of direction. Your compassion becomes wise. Your anger becomes protective without becoming cruel. Your desire becomes purified. Your grief becomes honest without becoming despair. Your joy becomes grateful without becoming careless. My beloved child, true freedom feels lighter than impulse. It may require restraint, but it brings peace. It may require waiting, but it brings clarity. It may require surrender, but it brings space in your soul. The path of truth may feel difficult at first, but it will not leave you chained to what is destroying you. So bring every feeling to me. Do not shame it. Do not worship it. Do not hide it. Do not obey it blindly. Bring it to the Father who knows how to heal and guide the heart He created. I will teach you to feel deeply and live steadily. Even when winds rise again, keep your heart still close to me tonight. I will teach you to be tender without being unstable. I will teach you to be honest without being ruled by every storm within. And as you learn this freedom, you will understand the next truth. Obedience is not a prison for your soul. Obedience is the anchor that keeps your awakened heart steady in my love. My beloved child, now that you understand true freedom is not following every feeling, I want to show you what keeps your awakened heart steady. Feelings may rise like wind across the water. Circumstances may press against you, but I have given you a way to remain anchored when the inner world feels unsettled. Obedience is the anchor of your soul. Do not hear obedience as a prison. Do not imagine it as the loss of who you are. I am not calling you to become smaller, colder, or less alive. I am calling you into alignment with the life I placed within you. Obedience is not me taking your voice away. It is me teaching your heart to hear the voice that leads to life. My beloved child, when emotions become loud, obedience becomes the quiet rope that keeps you from drifting. When desire pulls hard, obedience remembers what is true. When fear says protect yourself at any cost, obedience says trust the Father. When pain says react now, obedience says wait in my presence before you speak. This is not weakness. This is strength under guidance. A ship without an anchor may look free for a moment. It moves wherever the current takes it. But when the storm comes, that same freedom becomes danger. The anchor does not steal the ship's purpose. It protects it from being carried where it was never meant to go. In the same way, obedience holds your soul when the current of emotion, pressure, temptation, or fear tries to move you away from me. Scripture speaks of hope as an anchor for the soul, firm and secure. My beloved child, obedience is how hope takes shape in your daily life. It is hope with hands. It is trust with movement. It is faith choosing a path when feelings are arguing. You have sometimes thought obedience means I do not care about what you feel. That is not true. I care deeply. I know the ache behind your hesitation. I know the history behind your fear. I know why certain choices feel difficult. I know why surrender can feel like loss before it feels like peace. But because I love you, I will not let your wounds become your shepherd. I will not let fear become your wisdom. I will not let desire become your God. I will not let pain become the map of your future. My beloved child, obedience brings your life back into order. Not the order of rigid control, but the order of love. It teaches your thoughts to bow before truth. It teaches your tongue to wait before wounding. It teaches your hands to release what is not life. It teaches your feet to walk where I am leading, even when another road looks easier. Think of Abraham when I called him to leave the familiar land. He did not receive the whole map before he obeyed. He did not understand every turn, but he trusted my voice more than the comfort of what he knew. His obedience became a doorway into promise. My beloved child, some promises cannot be entered while you remain anchored to the old place out of fear. There will be moments when I ask you to obey before the feeling agrees. Forgive before resentment feels finished. Rest before the work feels complete. Speak truth before approval is guaranteed. Leave a pattern before comfort offers permission. Wait before desire understands the reason. This is where your soul matures. Not when obedience feels easy, but when love chooses me while feelings are still learning to follow. My beloved child, do not mistake difficulty for wrong direction. Sometimes the right step feels difficult because it is pulling you out of an old chain. Sometimes peace comes after the yes, not before it. Sometimes the heart trembles at the doorway of freedom, because bondage has become familiar. I will not force you through that doorway. I will invite you. I will strengthen you. I will remind you that my commands are not given to crush you. They are given so that your joy may become complete. Obedience is not earning my love. You already belong to me. Obedience is learning to live from that belonging. A child does not follow the Father's voice to become loved. The child follows because the Father's voice is safe. In the same way, I call you not as a stranger demanding performance, but as a father guiding the beloved one back into life. My beloved child, when you disobey, you often feel the scattering afterward. Your peace becomes thin, your spirit feels divided. You may function outwardly, but inwardly something knows it has moved away from the center. That awareness is mercy. It is my spirit calling you back, not to shame you, but to restore your anchor. Return quickly. Do not make failure your dwelling. Do not let one wrong step become a long road. Come back to me and say, Father, I drifted. Anchor me again. I will. I will not mock your return. I will take your hand and lead you back into order, one faithful step at a time. My beloved child, obedience will also teach you discernment. The more you obey the light you have, the more clearly you recognize the next light I give. But when you ignore what I have already shown you, confusion grows. Not because I have stopped speaking, but because disobedience fills the inner room with noise. So begin with what you know. You know the habit I have asked you to surrender. You know the truth I have asked you to speak. You know the boundary I have asked you to honor. You know the prayer I have asked you to return to. Start there. Do not demand a new revelation while resisting the simple obedience already before you. My light often increases as you walk in the light you have. My beloved child, I will never call you into obedience without also giving grace for the step. The grace may not feel dramatic. It may come as quiet strength. It may come as the courage to pause. It may come as the desire to choose differently. It may come as one scripture staying with you through the day. Receive it, follow it, trust that I am working in the small yes. Obedience is the anchor of your soul because it ties your life to what does not change. Feelings change, opinions change, circumstances change. But I do not change. My love does not change. My truth does not change. My hand over you does not change. So anchor yourself in me. Obey when it is quiet. Obey when it costs comfort. Obey when no one sees. Obey when the old pattern calls your name. Obey not to prove yourself, but because you trust me. And as your soul becomes anchored, I will begin showing you what must be released. There are familiar things you have carried for too long, things that once felt safe, but no longer carry life. Stay close, my beloved child, because I will teach you how to release the familiar things that no longer carry life. My beloved child, now that your soul is learning to anchor itself in obedience, I want to speak to the things you have carried for so long that you no longer question them. Some things feel safe only because they are familiar. Some places feel like home only because you have stayed there through many seasons. But not everything familiar is still carrying life. Release the familiar things that no longer carry life. I know this can feel painful. Familiar things are not always obviously dark. Sometimes they are old rhythms, old relationships, old dreams, old defenses, old ways of coping, old stories you tell yourself, or old patterns that once helped you survive. They may have protected you in a season of pain. They may have given you a place to stand when everything felt uncertain. But my beloved child, what helped you survive one season can become a covering that keeps you from entering the next. A coat that warmed you in winter may become too heavy when spring arrives. A shelter built during a storm may become too small when the sky clears. A bandage that protected a wound must eventually be removed so healing can breathe. I am not asking you to despise what once carried you. I am asking you to discern whether it still carries life. My beloved child, many people remain bound not by what they hate, but by what they have become used to. They stay in rooms where the air is stale because stale air has become predictable. They repeat habits that drain them because the habit knows their name. They hold on to relationships that shrink their soul because loneliness feels more frightening than truth. They keep old grief nearby because releasing it feels like losing the last connection to what was. I do not mock this. I understand it. But I love you too much to let familiarity become your master. Scripture says to test all things and hold fast to what is good. That means not everything you have carried must remain in your hands. Wisdom knows how to honor what was useful without worshiping it forever. Some things were scaffolding, not the house. Some things were temporary shade, not your promised dwelling. Some things were survival tools, not your identity. My beloved child, ask me honestly, is this still nourishing me? Is this drawing me closer to you? Is this producing peace, truth, humility, and love? Or is it keeping me in a cycle where nothing truly heals? Do not be afraid of the answer. My light will not shame you. It will show you what has become lifeless so you do not keep feeding it with your strength. There are things in your inner world like wells that once held water but now stand dry. You may still walk to them out of habit. You may still lower the bucket. You may still expect relief. But each time you rise, thirsty. My beloved child, I have living water for you. Why keep returning to a dry well when I am calling you to a stream that flows from my presence? There may be a relationship you keep trying to revive, though it no longer produces honesty, safety, or spiritual fruit. There may be a dream you keep clutching, not because I am breathing on it now, but because you fear who you will be without it. There may be an old version of yourself you keep protecting, though I am inviting you into a truer one. There may be a habit that once numbed pain but now keeps you from healing. Release does not mean everything was worthless. Release means its season is over. Think of the Israelites leaving Egypt. Egypt had been a place of bondage, yet later in the wilderness they remembered its food and wanted to return. Bondage can become familiar enough that freedom feels frightening. My beloved child, this is why I must teach you to recognize the difference between what is familiar and what is life-giving. The old place may offer predictability, but I am leading you toward promise. Do not return to Egypt because the wilderness feels uncertain. Do not choose the old chain because freedom requires trust. Do not call captivity comfort simply because you know its shape. My beloved child, when I ask you to release something familiar, I am not leaving your hands empty. I am making room. Empty hands may feel vulnerable at first, but they can receive. A clenched hand can keep what is old, but it cannot take hold of what I am giving. So when I ask you to loosen your grip, do not hear rejection, hear invitation. I am making room for peace. I am making room for obedience. I am making room for new courage. I am making room for relationships that do not require you to abandon truth. I am making room for a life that is not built around old fear. You may grieve as you release. That is not failure. Sometimes surrender includes tears. Sometimes the heart must mourn what it hoped a thing would become. Bring that grief to me. I will not rush you. I will not say, let go faster, feel less, move on quickly. I will hold you while your hands open. My beloved child, release is not always dramatic. Sometimes it is quiet. You stop rehearsing the old conversation. You stop checking the closed door. You stop feeding the habit. You stop agreeing with the sentence that says you cannot change. You stop returning to the place that always leaves your spirit dimmer. You choose one new step in my light. Small release can begin deep freedom. Do not wait until you feel ready. Readiness often comes after obedience. The first step may tremble. Your heart may look back. You may feel the pull of what is familiar, but keep walking with me. I will teach your soul that unknown with me is safer than familiar without life. My beloved child, I am not stripping your life. I am pruning it. My son said that the Father prunes the branch that bears fruit so it may bear more. Pruning can feel like loss when you only see what is cut away. But from my view, pruning is preparation for greater life. Trust my hands with what must be removed. Trust my wisdom with what must remain. Trust my timing with what is not yet clear. The familiar thing may have had a place in your story, but it does not have permission to rule your future. Your past may explain how you learned to survive, but it does not define how you must live now. Release what no longer carries life. Release it into my hands. Let me decide what can be redeemed, what must be healed, and what must be left behind. And as you release, my light will enter deeper, not only into the habits you can name, but into the hidden rooms where fear, shame, and old desire have been waiting. Stay close, my beloved child, because I will teach you to let my light enter the hidden room. My beloved child, now that you are learning to release the familiar things that no longer carry life, I want to lead you one step deeper. There are places within you that have not simply been familiar, they have been hidden, quiet rooms of the heart where old fear, secret shame, unspoken desire, and buried pain have remained behind closed doors. Let my light enter the hidden room. Do not be afraid of this invitation. I am not coming with a harsh lamp to expose you before the world. I am not entering to humiliate you, condemn you, or tear apart what is tender. I am coming as light that heals. I am coming as truth that frees. I am coming as the Father who already knows what is inside the room and still chooses to knock with love. My beloved child, what remains hidden does not remain still. A thought kept in darkness grows roots. A wound never brought to me begins to shape how you see yourself. A desire never surrendered begins to bargain for control. A secret shame left unnamed becomes a voice that tells you to stay away from my presence. This is why light matters. Not because I need information, because you need freedom. You may have told yourself, if I do not look at it, it cannot hurt me. But hidden things often continue working beneath the surface. Like smoke trapped inside a closed house, they fill the air slowly until breathing feels heavy. You may still function. You may still smile. You may still pray with your lips, yet somewhere inside the room grows dimmer. I do not want you to live with rooms in your soul where you are afraid to enter. I want to meet you there. Scripture says that God is light, and in him there is no darkness. My light is not cruel. It does not destroy what belongs to life. It reveals what has been stealing life so healing can begin. Darkness wants you to believe exposure means death. I tell you, when something is brought into my light, its power begins to break. My beloved child, the hidden room may contain memories you have avoided. It may contain words someone spoke over you that became a secret agreement. It may contain habits you return to when loneliness becomes loud. It may contain anger you buried because you were told good people do not feel such things. It may contain grief you postponed because life required you to keep moving. Bring it all to me, not all at once if your heart trembles, but truly. Open the door enough for my light to enter. Think of the woman who touched the hem of my son's garment. For years, she had carried a hidden suffering, something that made her feel unclean and separated. She came quietly, hoping to receive healing without being noticed. But my son did not let her remain an unnamed shadow. He called her daughter. He brought her into the light not to shame her, but to restore her openly. My beloved child, that is, my heart. I do not expose you to disgrace you. I bring you into light so you can hear your true name again. Daughter, son, beloved, mine. The enemy uses secrecy to make you feel alone. He whispers that no one would understand. He tells you that if anyone knew the full truth, you would be rejected. He tells you that your hidden struggle is proof you are beyond grace. But he is a liar. Grace is not frightened by what you have hidden. Mercy does not turn away when the door opens. Let me enter. Let me sit with you in the room you have avoided. Let me touch the shelf where old accusations have been stored. Let me open the window where shame has made the air stale. Let me remove the covering from the wound, not roughly but with hands that know how to heal. My beloved child, confession is not punishment. Confession is opening the window. It is saying, Father, this is what has been here. This is what I have carried. This is what I have feared. This is what I have used to cope. This is what I could not name before. The moment truth is spoken before me, darkness loses part of its hiding place. You do not become weaker when you confess. You become more real. You become less divided. You become a person standing in my light instead of being pulled by what has never been named. My beloved child, I will not ask you to reveal holy wounds to unsafe hands. Wisdom matters. Trust matters. Timing matters. But nothing in you must remain hidden from me. There may also be trusted people I send to walk with you, not to judge you, but to help you remain in light. Do not reject help because shame calls isolation safer. Isolation is not always safety. Sometimes isolation is a room where lies grow louder. My beloved child, there are hidden rooms that contain not only pain but also gifts. Some of your compassion is hidden behind sorrow. Some of your courage is buried beneath fear. Some of your calling is covered by shame. Some of your tenderness has been locked away because you thought feeling deeply made you weak. When my light enters, I do not only reveal what must be healed, I uncover what must be restored. So let the light come. Let it reach the memory. Let it reach the habit. Let it reach the fear. Let it reach the desire. Let it reach the name you secretly call yourself. and then listen as I speak a better name. My beloved child, you are not what darkness said you were. You are not the hidden struggle. You are not the old wound. You are not the shameful sentence. You are not beyond repair. You are held by the one who sees fully and loves fully. This is why you do not need to keep the room locked. Open it with me. Stay while I bring light. Do not run when tears come. Do not panic when truth becomes clear. Do not confuse conviction with rejection. I am not ending your story in that room. I am beginning freedom there. One uncovered place can become a doorway of peace. One honest confession can become the beginning of a life no longer divided against itself before my face again tonight. As my light enters, you will begin to breathe differently. The air inside your soul will change. What once controlled you in secrecy will lose strength in my presence. What once accused you will be answered by truth. What once seemed too dark will become a place where grace proves stronger. And when that light has begun its healing work, I will call you to walk forward, not because every question is answered, not because the whole path is visible, but because a heart brought into light can take the next step with me. Stay close, my beloved child, because I will teach you to walk forward before you see the whole path. My beloved child, now that my light has entered the hidden room, I want to lead you beyond the place of seeing and into the place of walking. Truth has begun to uncover what was hidden. Mercy has begun to loosen what kept you bound. But revelation is not meant to leave you standing still. Light is given so you can move. Walk forward before you see the whole path. I know this feels difficult. You want certainty before obedience. You want the full map before the first step. You want to know how everything will unfold, who will understand what will change, and whether the road will feel safe. But my beloved child, faith does not always receive the whole path at once. Faith receives enough light to take the next step with me. You may think that if I truly wanted you to move, I would remove every question first. But sometimes questions remain because I am teaching you to trust my voice more than your need for control. I am not withholding clarity to be harsh. I am forming confidence that rests in me, not in the illusion that you can manage every outcome. Scripture says that my word is a lamp to your feet and a light to your path. A lamp does not show the whole road to the horizon. It gives enough light for the step before you. This is mercy. If you saw everything at once, fear might overwhelm you. If you knew every valley before reaching it, you might refuse the journey. So I light the next step and I walk it with you. My beloved child, stop asking for the entire future when I am offering my hand today. You do not need to know every chapter. You need to obey the sentence I am speaking now. You do not need to see every turn. You need to trust the one who sees beyond every turn. Remember the priests carrying the ark when Israel came to the Jordan. The river stood before them full and impossible. The waters did not part while they stayed safely on the shore. The miracle began when their feet stepped into the water. Obedience touched the edge of what seemed impossible, and then the way opened. My beloved child, there are waters that will not move while you stand forever calculating from the bank. There are doors that become clear only as you approach them. There are fears that lose authority only after you take the step they told you not to take. I am not asking you to be reckless. I am asking you to be faithful. There is a difference. Recklessness moves without listening. Faith moves because it has heard me. Recklessness is driven by impulse. Faith is guided by trust. Recklessness ignores wisdom. Faith walks with my presence. So pause long enough to hear me. Then do not let fear keep you from the step I have made clear. If I am calling you to forgive, begin. If I am calling you to release, loosen your grip. If I am calling you to speak truth, speak with humility. If I am calling you to leave the old pattern, take one step away. If I am calling you to return to prayer, return today. My beloved child, the step may look small, but small obedience is not small in the kingdom of light. A seed is small, yet it carries a harvest. A key is small, yet it opens a door. A spark is small, yet it can begin warmth in a cold room. Do not measure the step by its appearance. Measure it by the one who asked you to take it. You may still feel afraid. Walk with me. You may still feel uncertain. Walk with me. You may still hear old voices asking, what if? Walk with me. I am not asking for fearless movement. I am asking for surrendered movement. Courage is not the absence of trembling. Courage is taking my hand while trembling and refusing to let fear become your Lord. My beloved child, many remain at the edge of change because they want peace before obedience. But often peace deepens as you obey. Clarity grows as you walk. Strength rises as your foot moves. The manna came day by day. The cloud guided step by step. The disciples followed my son before they understood everything he would teach them. A journey with me is often learned while walking. Do not despise the learning that happens on the road. There are things you cannot receive while standing still in analysis. There are muscles of trust that are strengthened only by use. There are inner chains that break only when you stop living as though they still own you. There are gifts in you that awaken only when you begin to serve, speak, love, forgive, build, or obey in the direction I have shown. My beloved child, if you wait until you feel ready for everything, you may never begin anything. Readiness often follows surrender. The heart becomes ready while it is being led. The path becomes clearer while the feet are moving. The courage you prayed for may be waiting inside the very step you fear. I will not abandon you between one step and the next. I will not call you forward and then disappear. I will not invite you into light and then leave you to walk alone. My presence goes with you. This is why you can move without possessing every answer. You possess something greater than an answer. You possess my promise to be with you. I will never leave you, nor forsake you. Let that truth become stronger than the demand to understand every detail. My beloved child, when you take the next faithful step, do it gently. Do not perform courage for others. Do not turn obedience into pride. Do not shame yourself for moving slowly. Walk with a humble heart. Walk prayerfully. Walk listening. Walk willing to be corrected. Walk willing to pause if I say pause and willing to move if I say move. Faith is not frantic. Faith is attentive. Faith is not loud. Faith is steady. And if you stumble, come back to me quickly. A stumble on the road does not cancel the journey. A moment of fear does not erase your calling. A slow step with me is still movement in the right direction. Even now, the hidden yes inside you is beginning to rise, not loudly but faithfully, like dawn touching a room that once seemed closed forever again tonight. So take the step, my beloved child. Not tomorrow if I am speaking today. Not after every doubt has vanished. Not after every person approves. Take the step I have lit before you. The whole path belongs to me. The next step belongs to you and me together. Walk forward before you see the whole path, and you will discover that I have been preparing more than a road. I have been awakening something within you. As you move with me, you will begin to recognize the purpose I placed inside you long before this moment. My beloved child, now that you have begun to walk forward before seeing the whole path, I want you to understand what is awakening within you. The step you are taking is not random. The stirring is not a passing emotion. The desire to rise, return, obey, heal, and live more deeply is not something you created alone. You are being awakened to your purpose. This purpose is not a costume placed on you from the outside. It is not a role you must perform so others will approve. It is not the heavy pressure of becoming impressive. My beloved child, purpose is the life I planted within you before you knew how to name it. It is the intention of my love becoming clearer inside your days. Before you understood yourself, I knew you. Before the wounds confused you, I saw the design. Before fear taught you to shrink, I placed light within you. Scripture says that before I formed my servant in the womb, I knew him and appointed him. Receive that not as distant history, but as a window into my heart. I do not create without intention. I do not breathe life without meaning. I do not place gifts, tears, sensitivity, strength, compassion, and desire inside a soul by accident. You have sometimes looked at your life and seen only fragments. A season that broke your confidence, a delay that made you question timing, a mistake you wish you could erase, a gift you buried because someone misunderstood it, a tenderness you hid because pain made it feel unsafe. You wondered how any of this could still become purpose, but I see differently. I see threads where you see tangles. I see seeds where you see buried things. I see preparation where you see wasted time. I see testimony forming where you see only survival. Your purpose does not mean every painful thing was good. Do not misunderstand me. I do not call evil good. I do not call wounds blessings by themselves. But my beloved child, nothing surrendered to me has to remain wasted. I can take what was broken, cleanse it, heal it, and weave it into wisdom, mercy, courage, and compassion. Think of Joseph. Betrayal, delay, false accusation, and hidden years did not erase the purpose I carried over his life. For a long time, the road looked nothing like the promise. Yet in the appointed season, what seemed scattered was gathered into a work of preservation. He could later say that what others meant for harm, I turned toward good. My beloved child, I am still able to do that. I am not limited by the crooked places of your journey. I am not confused by the years you think were lost. I am not finished because you feel unfinished. Purpose often awakens quietly. It may begin as a burden to pray, a desire to encourage, a hunger for truth, a refusal to keep living numb, a compassion for people who suffer in ways you understand, a holy discomfort with the shallow life you once accepted. These are not small things. They are signs of life rising beneath the surface. Do not despise the early stirring. A child grows in hidden places before being seen. A seed breaks open underground before green appears. A song forms in silence before it is sung. So it is with purpose. Much of what I form in you begins hidden, then slowly becomes visible through obedience. My beloved child, you may think purpose must look grand to be real. You may imagine stages, titles, crowds, or recognition, but I look at faithfulness. I look at love. I look at the words spoken at the right time to one weary person. I look at the forgiveness chosen when bitterness was easier. I look at the courage to live honestly after years of hiding. I look at the daily surrender that no one else sees. Purpose is not always loud. Sometimes purpose is a light in one room. Sometimes it is peace carried into one family. Sometimes it is prayer offered for one soul. Sometimes it is patience in one difficult season. Sometimes it is the way your healed wound becomes comfort for another wounded heart. My beloved child, do not compare your calling with another person's path. Comparison makes purpose blurry. You were not created as a copy. You are my workmanship, created for good works I prepared beforehand. That means there are ways of loving, serving, speaking, building, praying, and enduring that carry the imprint I placed uniquely in you. If you keep measuring your purpose by someone else's assignment, you will miss the grace resting on your own. Look at what I am awakening in you. What burden keeps returning in prayer? What truth keeps stirring your heart? What pain have I healed enough that you can now bring mercy to others? What small obedience have I placed before you today? Purpose becomes clearer as you walk, not as you merely wonder. You do not discover it by staring at the sky, waiting for every detail. You discover it by answering the light I have already given. Serve where you can. Pray where you are. Speak truth with love. Repair what is yours to repair. Release what is not yours to control. Follow the next faithful step. My beloved child, I know fear will ask, what if I am not enough? But purpose was never meant to rest on your sufficiency. It rests on my presence. I do not call you because you can carry everything alone. I call you because I will be with you. Moses trembled at his calling. Jeremiah felt young, Gideon felt small. Yet I was the strength beneath what they could not supply themselves. Your weakness does not cancel purpose. Your questions do not cancel purpose. Your slow beginning does not cancel purpose. Your past does not cancel purpose when it is placed in my hands. So rise gently. Do not force yourself into noise. Do not chase proof. Let purpose awaken as you remain with me. Let it grow in prayer, discipline, obedience, healing, and love. Let me teach you the pace. Let me open the doors that are truly mine. Let me close the doors that would turn purpose into performance. My beloved child, you are not being awakened so you can strive harder. You are being awakened so you can live aligned with my voice, aligned with truth, aligned with the gifts I entrusted to you, aligned with the people I will ask you to love, aligned with the light I placed within you before the world tried to dim it. There is still purpose in you. There is still oil in the lamp. There is still a word, a prayer, a kindness, a work, a testimony, a light that I desire to bring through your life. Walk with me, and I will unfold it step by step. And as purpose rises, do not be surprised if opposition rises too. Darkness often reacts when light begins to shine. Stay close, my beloved child, because I will teach you why opposition can mean your light is rising. My beloved child, now that you are being awakened to your purpose, I want you to understand what may happen when light begins to rise. Do not be surprised if resistance appears. Do not think every struggle means you are walking the wrong way. Sometimes opposition comes because you are finally moving toward the life I called you to live. Opposition means your light is rising. I do not say this so you will look for enemies everywhere. I do not want you suspicious, fearful, or tense. I want you discerning. There is a difference between ordinary difficulty and the resistance that rises when a soul begins to leave darkness. When you stop agreeing with old chains, they may pull at you one more time. When you begin to step into truth, lies may speak louder for a season. When you choose obedience, comfort may try to negotiate. My beloved child, this does not mean you are failing. It may mean you are waking. When dawn begins, the darkness does not disappear in one instant. For a little while, shadow and light seem to stand in the same sky. The air is still cold, but the horizon is changing. So it is with you. A new life may be rising inside you, while old fears still whisper. New courage may be growing, while old habits still call. Purpose may be awakening, while doubt asks whether anything has really changed. Do not obey the doubt. Look at the light. Scripture says that the light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. This is the truth I want you to hold. Darkness can speak, but it cannot defeat my light. It can accuse, but it cannot rewrite my word over you. It can resist, but it cannot stop what I breathe into life when you remain surrendered to me. Think of Nehemiah when he rebuilt the walls. The moment the work began, opposition rose, mockery came, threats came, discouragement came. Voices tried to pull him down from the assignment, but he stayed with the work. He prayed. He remained watchful. He did not let the noise decide his obedience. My beloved child, there will be moments when you must do the same. Not every voice deserves your attention. Not every criticism deserves your answer. Not every fear deserves a seat at your table. Not every delay means my hand has left the work. When your light begins to rise, some things around you may feel unsettled. People who were comfortable with your silence may not understand your healing. Habits that depended on your numbness may resist your awakening. Patterns that once ruled you may try to return with old familiarity. Even your own mind may test the new truth by bringing back old sentences. Who do you think you are? You will not stay changed. This is too difficult. You should go back. My beloved child, recognize those voices. They are not my voice. My voice may correct you, but it does not drag you back into bondage. My voice may humble you, but it does not erase hope. My voice may call you to patience, but it does not bury your purpose. Opposition often tries to make you interpret awakening as danger. It says, see, this is too hard. It says, if this were truly God, it would feel easy. But I tell you, difficulty does not always mean absence of grace. Sometimes grace is the strength to keep building while the wind pushes. A seed breaking through soil faces pressure, yet that pressure does not mean the seed is wrong. It means life is pushing upward. A child learning to walk may wobble, yet the wobble does not mean walking is impossible. It means strength is developing. A lamp lit in a dark room makes dust visible, yet the dust does not mean the lamp failed. It means light has entered. My beloved child, let this comfort you. The resistance you feel is not always proof of defeat. Sometimes it is proof that hidden places are being disturbed by my presence. When you forgive, bitterness may protest. When you rest, anxiety may accuse you of being irresponsible. When you set a boundary, fear may tell you love will leave. When you speak truth, shame may tell you to hide. When you pray, numbness may say nothing will happen. Keep choosing life. Keep choosing truth. Keep choosing me. I know the opposition can be tiring. I know you may wish awakening would feel peaceful at first. Sometimes it will. But sometimes the beginning of freedom feels like a struggle, because chains do not fall quietly. Do not be discouraged by the sound of what is breaking. I am with you in the breaking. I am with you in the rising. I am with you in the uncomfortable space between who you were and who I am forming you to become. My beloved child, do not fight opposition with panic. Fight it with presence. Come back to me. Pray before reacting. Return to my word. Ask for wisdom. Stand in humility. Keep your heart clean. Do not let opposition make you bitter, proud, or harsh. The goal is not to prove people wrong. The goal is to remain faithful to the light I have given you. Remember my son in the wilderness. After he was declared beloved, temptation came. The enemy challenged his identity. and offered shortcuts. But my son answered with what was written. He did not need to perform to prove who he was. He stood anchored in truth. You must do the same. When opposition questions your identity, answer with truth. I belong to the Father. When fear questions your future, answer with truth. My steps are held by God. When shame questions your worth, answer with truth. I am loved, forgiven, and being restored. My beloved child, the light rising in you does not need to shout. It needs to remain. It needs oil, truth, prayer, patience, and obedience. Let me guard it. Let me strengthen it. Let me teach you when to speak and when to be silent, when to move and when to wait, when to fight in prayer and when to rest in trust. Opposition cannot destroy what stays surrendered to me. It may test your roots, but roots grow deeper when they hold to living water. It may shake the branches, but what is planted by my hand will not be abandoned. So do not turn back because the old life called your name. Do not surrender because the first steps felt difficult. Do not doubt the dawn because the sky is not bright yet. Your light is rising, my beloved child, not because you are strong in yourself, but because my life is working in you. Keep walking, keep listening, keep returning. The darkness does not own the morning. And as your light continues to rise, I will show you the final purpose of all this healing. Your life is not meant to remain hidden. It will become a living answer, a quiet testimony that my love still restores, still guides, and still calls my beloved children into life. My beloved child, now that you understand opposition can rise when your light begins to shine, I want to show you why I have been leading you through all of this. The warnings, the pauses, the discipline, the healing, the release, the obedience, the steps taken before you saw the whole path, none of it was without purpose. Let your life become a living answer. Not an answer shouted to impress people. Not an answer built on performance. Not an answer that pretends you have never been weak. I am speaking of a life so touched by my grace that it quietly testifies without needing to force attention. A life that says God still restores, God still speaks, God still waits, God still leads his beloved children back into life. My beloved child, people are not only listening to what you say, they are also watching what becomes of you when my light is allowed to remain. They may see a calmer spirit where there used to be panic. They may see a softer heart where bitterness once ruled. They may see courage rising where fear used to silence you. They may see peace resting in a place that once carried confusion. This is testimony. Testimony is not always a microphone. Sometimes it is the way you forgive without becoming foolish. Sometimes it is the way you set a boundary without hatred. Sometimes it is the way you keep praying when no one else sees. Sometimes it is the way you return to me after stumbling instead of letting shame build another wall. My beloved child, your life can answer questions that words alone cannot answer. Someone may wonder, can a wounded heart truly heal? Let your life answer. Someone may wonder, can a person begin again after years of delay? Let your life answer. Someone may wonder, does God still guide ordinary people through quiet promptings? Let your life answer. Someone may wonder, is obedience still freedom? Let your life answer. Do not make this heavy. I am not placing pressure on you to become a perfect example. I am inviting you to become an honest witness. A witness does not have to be flawless. A witness tells what they have seen, what they have received, and how mercy met them on the road. Remember the man who had been healed after sitting in helplessness for many years. My son told him to rise, take up his mat, and walk. The mat that once held his weakness became something he carried. My beloved child, there are places in your life that once carried your pain, and one day, by my grace, you will carry them as proof that they no longer carry you. That is a living answer, not denying the past, not worshiping the past, but showing that my power is greater than the past. My beloved child, I can use your restored life in ways you may never fully see. A gentle word from you may reach someone standing near surrender. Your patience may steady a soul that expects rejection. Your honesty may give courage to someone tired of hiding. Your quiet faithfulness may preach to a room louder than a speech. Do not underestimate small light. A lamp in a window does not light the whole city, yet it helps a traveler find the road home. A cup of water does not become a river, yet it can revive a thirsty person. A single act of mercy may seem small to you, but in my hands it can become a doorway for someone else to believe that love has not abandoned them. My beloved child, I have not awakened you only for yourself. I love you personally, deeply, completely, but my love once received begins to flow through you. I comfort you so comfort can find another. I restore your courage so you can strengthen another. I bring you into truth so your presence can carry truth without cruelty. I heal your heart so your love will not be ruled by old wounds. This does not mean you must rush. Let healing mature. Let wisdom grow. Let obedience become steady. Let your roots deepen in me before you try to carry fruit for others. A tree does not strain to produce fruit by noise. It abides, receives, grows, and in season, fruit comes. In the same way, remain in me. Let your life become fruitful, from connection, not pressure. My beloved child, you have heard me calling you through stillness, warning, delay, light, discipline, surrender, truth, and purpose. Now hear the heart beneath it all. I have been waiting for you not to condemn you, but to bring you fully alive. I have knocked at the door not to invade, but to commune. I have revealed what drains you not to shame you, but to free you. I have restrained you not to reject you, but to protect you. I have awakened you not to burden you, but to restore your true life. This is who I am. I am Father. I am Light. I am Shepherd. I am Healer. I am the one who sees the whole road and still walks beside you step by step. So do not return to sleep. Do not go back to calling delay peace. Do not let old habits become your hiding place again. Do not silence the holy stirring within you. Do not give the door of your heart back to fear when my love has been knocking with such patience. Live awake. Live listening. Live surrendered. Live anchored. Live as one who has been loved back into life. My beloved child, the world does not need you to pretend you are unbroken. It needs the light of a life being restored. It needs people who can say, I was tired, but God met me. I was delayed, but God called me. I was hidden, but God brought light. I was afraid, but God taught me to walk. I was numb, but God awakened my heart again. That kind of testimony is humble. That kind of testimony is powerful. That kind of testimony belongs to me. And even when you feel small, remember this. I have always done holy work through small beginnings. A mustard seed, a few loaves, a quiet yes, a hidden prayer, a single step toward the light. Do not despise the size of your obedience when my presence is inside it. My beloved child, let your life become a living answer today. Not tomorrow when everything is perfect, not later when every question disappears. Today, with the light you have, the grace you have received, and the hand of your Father holding you, I am still waiting with love. I am still guiding with patience. I am still restoring what belongs to life. Walk with me from this moment forward, and I will be with you through every faithful step. Let your days speak. Let your peace speak. Let your obedience speak. Let your healing speak. Let your life become a gentle witness that my love has not failed, my light has not faded, and my voice is still calling my beloved children home.